Where do we begin? How do you actually begin a new relationship? Are you the type who sets a date, organized? Or are you someone who just goes with the flow and thinks, you know what, I think this can pass for a relationship, so maybe why don't we go ahead and label it? Or maybe you're someone, sex muna, and tikiman muna, and then, saka na yung actual relationship. Hello everyone, my name is Queen Wasabi. Are you ready to get that relationship experience with me today? I am recording this with Anchor.fm, the easiest way to create podcasts nowadays. So let us get on with today's episode, And because this is our first relationship together, let's kind of discuss a little bit about the whole concept of the show and like what to expect. Ano bang expectations mo sa isang relasyon? So that's kind of where I want to go. Ano bang expectations natin sa isa't isa? How are we really gonna build this weekly relationships of ours? Well, we're expecting to make lots of shits together. So yes, relationships together. When I first thought about this podcast, I initially just wanted to talk about love, sex, relationship. For me, I feel like it's an easy topic, and everyone I've met has basically something to say about those topics. For me, it's easy because that's the life we live in, love, life, sex. Yan dyan tayo nabubuhay on a daily basis. I'm not saying that I'm having sex every day, but I wish I am. But what I'm saying is, it's something na hindi ka mauubusan ng pwedeng pag-usapan because it's always there. We live a life, we make relationships with different people, we have sex sometimes with different people too. I feel like there's so much in there that can be discussed, right? Parang sa experiences ko pa lang, di na tayo mauubusan tapos kumuha pa tayo ng experiences ng iba, right? So, this topic is something that is very close to my heart. Diba? Close to my heart. My heart daw ako. Hindi ko naman sinasabi kasi na puro shitty yung relationships ko. No. It's not that. But, we all know naman na as much as there are rainbows and unicorns in love, there is also so much shittiness in those little butterflies in your stomach. Those little butterflies that you feel whenever you're kinikilig, those little butterflies are carrying tons of shits waiting to be dumped on you. Ingat kayo dyan sa mga butterflies na yan. They have tons of shits with them. But of course, we're not just here to talk about that shitloads of shitty experiences. We're still gonna talk about your shitty life and your shitty sex. Oh my god, I'm painting a really, really bad picture here. I feel like I'm probably doing a really bad job of providing that positive energy and tone to the series. Parang, oh my god, ano ba naman yung discussion na yan? Ano ba talaga gusto mong pag-usapan? But no, madami din naman akong wonderful experiences in love and in life. I'm right here. I'm very happy, very excited to be working with Rumble Royale for this podcast show, and we are definitely going to talk about them as well. The whole show is not just about those bad experiences na gusto mo na makalimutan, but we're also going to talk about the best practices in relationships, those wonderful times together, those kilig moments, the better times of relationship, those getting to know you stage, those wala pang label stage, those ano kayong iniisip niya stage. There's so much positivity in the discussions that we're gonna go we're gonna go in that journey together. So I just want to share with you guys a little quick story. It's really funny and embarrassing at the same time. Okay, so prior to me finishing this episode, before I finish, so while I was writing this, hindi pa ako tapos isulat, so I was just in the progress of writing it. A guy reached out to me, and at that point, I didn't know who he was. So apparently he is a batchmate sa Rumble Royale podcast network. Hello, if you're listening. So batchmate ko pala siya. So he reached out and told me that he wanted to do a collab. And I am always down for collabs, most especially for someone like me na, who's new in the industry, is trying to make a name in the industry. I'm always down for it. I love talking to other people and learn about their experiences. I mean, that's kind of the whole concept of it, right? So, I said yes, and nothing to it. But then, yung bungad niya sa akin was like, ganito, Queen. So it's like, yo, kahit naman sinong mag-message sa akin. Nasa message request ko siya eh. Sabi ko, yo. And then, he said, kaka-break ko lang, tara collab. I mean, like, okay. I mean, I know, like, when you first hear about relationships as a title, your first thought, it will always be shitty. I mean, I can't blame you guys. That's on me. And I guess that's also why I wanted to kind of clarify that in this episode, because we don't want to isolate naman those who are having the best moments in their lives, in their relationships, like they're really, really happy. Sige, kayo na. There's so many wonderful moments sa isang relasyon na minsan nga doon na lang tayo nag-hold on, diba? Like, even when a relationship becomes toxic na, ganyan, but because you had this sobrang daming magagandang memories, we kind of hold on to that. And those kinds of moments, we don't want to discredit them. That's not what we're after, that's not what we're here for. So anyway, after receiving this message, ako parang, wait, kukulab lang kailangan yung bungad mo, break up, diba? Parang, and then realize ko, ay shit, oo nga pala, sorry, yung ko nga pala, yung topic ko nga pala, relationships. So malamang-lamang yun, diba? I'm sorry, the typical judgmental person that I am. But anyway, my immediate response was, oh my god, this is you think that's embarrassing, but this is the really embarrassing part. My immediate response was, yeah, gawin natin content yung heartache mo. That was fucking messed up. I mean, like, hindi ko siya na-realize right off, but when I was like browsing through my messages, I was like, what the fuck did I just say? I mean, seriously? What was I thinking? Oh my god, baka hindi mo nakaka-move on yung tao. Right? And I was like, gawin natin content yung heartache mo. That was so fucking insensitive of me. I mean, God, if you're listening to this, I hope you're listening to this. I am so sorry. I didn't mean it that way. But I mean, to be fair, talagang justify ka daw. But to be fair, he proposed the idea, I mean, sa kanya naman galing yung idea to use the breakup. I mean, I think that's my assumption, right? I wished him well. I hope I did. But I mean, it was his idea. I mean, his initial message was kaka-breakup lang, and knowing that my podcast is about relationships, I'm assuming that that's kind of where you want to go, right? But yeah, nevertheless, I think that response was really insensitive, and I'm really very sorry, and I'm really hoping that you're better now, but I am looking forward to that content of ours. Let's definitely do a collab on that heartache of yours. Oh my god. But yes, why I'm saying this is that, apart from the fact that, of course, I want to apologize, and I want to say that I'm excited for that collab. What I'm really trying to say, or why I'm telling you guys this, is because I just want you guys to know that in this whole relationship topic that we're doing, these are all very personal. Maybe if it's about my experience. Maybe for me, it's gonna be very personal for me, sharing to people the kinds of experiences I had. Maybe for the person who will be sharing their experiences. Maybe for you, maybe there will be times when you hear something, you hear a discussion, you hear a topic that we'll be talking about. Maybe you'd be able to relate. It's gonna be very personal. We will be talking about real life and love experiences, and these includes real emotions, real heartaches, real pain. And sometimes it's good na, there are times when we talk about some of these experiences, naka-move on na tayo. We're very open to talk about them, na pag binanggit natin yung pangalan ng tao or sumagi sa isipan natin yung pangalan ng tao, we're pretty much okay. We feel fine, But I'm pretty much sure that we'll also be talking about, or we'll also be talking to people and sharing stuff that are very fresh. The wound is still there. Fresh pa yung wound. Nevertheless, we're gonna talk about them. But yes, these are real feelings, and I want to kind of remind ourselves of that when we listen. Kasi baka mamaya, pinagdadaanan mo rin yan, I mean, we're gonna talk a lot about love, right? And if you're, like, kunwari pinagdadaanan mo siya, you see, the thing is that, hindi naman lahat ng tao laging broken-hearted, right? Love is always there. Love has no season, It will only come at different phases in your life. The getting to know you phase, the nagmo-move on phase, the broken phase, the happy phase, it's always there. It's just different phases will pass in your life, right? And at one point in your life, everyone is set to experience love, Because you guys have to understand and, really acknowledge that love is not always romantic, and love is not always something that you can only get from a romantic partner. There are so many love to experience. There's so much love in the world to experience. Hindi ka mauubusan ng pagmamahal sa mundo. Totoo yon, guys. Please remember that. Hindi ka mauubusan ng pagmamahal sa mundo. You just have to know where to look. Or sometimes, you're just looking past that love na nasa harapan mo na. There's so much love in there. And we're gonna talk so much about that. And, these are gonna be very, very, very personal conversations. And I kind of, want you guys to remember that. So, when we talk about these kinds of experience, remember that there was some real emotions tied to these stories. There were some real heartaches and probably days of ugly crying, self-blame, bakit ba nangyari sa akin to? Bakit ko ba ginawa to? And I'm not saying that that's going to be the highlight of the show, but I think it's going to be something na magiging focus natin. That those experiences, those emotions, ano ba yung pinagdadaanan mo? Ano ba yung pinagdadaanan ng guest natin? Ano ba yung pinagdadaanan ko? Ano ba yung pinagdaanan ko? That maybe you'll probably be able to relate to. I want to get as much emotion from the guest and from you guys, from the listeners. The goal is for us to be able to feel with the speaker, to relate to the topic, that kind of emotion. And you have to understand that emotion is a very, very powerful state of feeling. Kaya nga, diba, there's this famous line, or it's something na I always want to say, whenever I make decisions or I talk to people about making decisions, na don't make permanent decisions out of temporary emotions. Again, let's say that again. Don't make permanent decisions out of temporary emotions, because that's gonna mess you up. Like, and I'm not, there's so many people who are making that mistake. It's very easy to say, but you know, once you're there till it happens to you, oh, it's a total different story. You know, I'm not saying that this is like some rookie mistake, someone who is inexperienced in life, or someone wala pang alam sa buhay. No, I've met and know a lot, and I'm guilty of it as well. You know, ako very recently, I made a really drastic decision because I was emotional. Was it something that I regret? Not really, but it wasn't, it might not have been the best decision of my life, and I was just lucky, I guess, because that decision that I made while I was emotional is something that did not have a permanent impact in my life, you know. But yeah, so what I'm saying is that I've met and I know so many people who makes the same mistake. They let their emotions dictate their actions. You know, leave emotions out of your decision making, because when you're in a very emotional state, you can never ever trust your decision making. It will always be flawed. Your decisions will always be biased, because when you're emotional, you can only see a certain aspect of reality. Like, you just want to see your own reality, right? Emotion is very powerful. It is very powerful, and that is the reason why I kind of want to harness that kind of reaction from the listeners, and of course from our guests. We want to be able to, when we talk about certain topics, when we talk about certain experiences of mine, of those of the people who we're going to be guesting, we want to be able to activate your emotions. Right? Not that we want you guys to feel naman bad or depressed. Parang kasing ganun yung lumalabas. No. That's not it. But we want you to feel nevertheless. We want you to remember, you know? We want to get that reaction na, oh my God, that's what I'm going through right now. You know, oh my God, shit, ganyan yung feeling ko. Alam ko yung nararamdaman mo. Oh my God, I hope you're gonna be okay soon, kasi alam kong mahirap yan. Or maybe when we talk about real beautiful things, you know, kiligin ka with us. Shit, kinikilig ako, sana out din, sana all na lang. Kakamiss yung ganyang feeling. These are experiences that we want to be able to harness, you know? Experiences, because, I mean, experience, as they say, and I think this is not something that's gonna change. Experience is the best teacher, right? I mean, it's impossible to experience everything in your lifetime. Hindi mo mai-experience talaga lahat, right? Maraming mga bagay na mai-experience mo naturally, or sometimes you'd have your bucket list to draw a pattern of the kind of experiences that you want to go through in your life, right? But most especially, diba, lalo na kung bata ka pa, right? When you're young, there are so many things na hindi mo pa may experience. But I mean, I know young is subjective, right? Pero say, kunwari, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, there is so much more out there that you are yet to discover, that I am yet to discover. You know, there's so much more in the world that I want to be able to experience, that I want to be able to go through, right? There's so much more about your life, my life. There's so much more about the people around you that you are yet to experience. I mean, minsan, I know people who were only able to actually get to know themselves during their 40s. There are people na nare-realize nila what they truly want for themselves, or they actually get to know their inner feelings, their body, their thoughts, very, very late in their lives. You know, that's experience. And there is a lot of us, who chooses, or maybe did not choose, but we're living in this little bubble of ours, and we're just watching the world go by. There's so many of us that nandun lang tayo, right? It can be because maybe you're just young and wala eh. Ito lang talaga yung meron ako right now, and that's okay. Or maybe you're someone who is just really afraid to go out. You're someone who's afraid to try new things, right? Hindi ikaw yung adventurous na tao. And when I say adventurous, it's not going crazy on those extreme adventures. No, actually just getting out there. You know? Or maybe you're someone who just doesn't have the resources right now. Right now, you're just stuck in there, but, in the future, you have plans you're set to experience so many other things. Or maybe you have the resources, pero you don't have time. Or maybe you're someone who is just really consumed by yourself, consumed by life, by living it, by your bills, by your chores, by career, by your academics, whatever it is that's consuming you or hindering you to experience. I mean, fret not, because the truth is, you can actually learn from other people's experiences. And that's kind of something that I wanna do, but of course, I wanna be able to focus on that, 3 things: life, love, sex, right? The whole relationship concept of those. So that's fine. Go live in your bubble if that's where you feel safe, if that's where you feel like you belong right now. But nothing wrong with that. But watch out. Look at what's out there. What can you utilize? There is nothing wrong with that. The only I guess, when I know a lot of people who uses other people's experiences to gain not experiences life, but change their mindset, motivate themselves, The only thing that I feel like scary about that is when using other people's experiences is finding the right people to draw your life lessons. Baka naman kasi yung tinitingala mo pala, medyo sa bangin yung punta, madadamay ka pa, right? And right now, if you feel like you don't have that much emotional or mental energy sa sarili mo, kasi we need that we need that particular energy in our life, mental and emotional energy. You need to draw it out, and sometimes what we have in ourselves is not enough, parang cellphone, diba? Parang cellphone, you need to be charged. Maybe sa sarili mo wala ka pang makuha, maybe you just really don't have enough XP. Sa mga gamers dyan, you don't have enough XP to level up, right? Ride on other people's experiences. And one of the best way to consume those experiences is through listening to other people's life, decisions. Get motivated through, through the things that people are doing. And that's kind of why I actually love and learn to love listening to podcasts. I mean, there are so many things out there that you can listen sa podcast, but these are the things that I really, really enjoy and I really, really love, because I get to be able to experience and feel what other people has gone through, and that's kind of what I want to do as well, right? Just like what you guys are doing now, So this is something that I actually learned. This is something that I actually discovered through podcasts. And I'm very happy. I'm very glad that I've discovered podcast. When I found out about Anchor.fm, how I record in Anchor, it's so easy. It's click a button and I can share my thoughts to the world. It's my life to yours. Something like that, right? And what I love about podcasts is that it's very easy to consume. Sobrang dali kasi pakikinggan mo lang siya eh. It doesn't take too much time. Can be done simultaneously with so many other things. Pag naghuhugas ako ng plato, pag nagko-code ako, minsan kahit pag naglalaro ako, you can do it simultaneously with other things. And, the ability of those podcasters, those speakers, to just let you in on different types of emotional experiences. It's amazing. So, why are you here? We all have our reasons why we're here. Sa akin kasi yun talaga. That's kind of what I want from it, out of it. Apart, of course, from the music and all. But why are you here? Why are you listening to me right now? Because I am new to the whole podcast universe. I know for a fact na the people, you guys, thank you for being here. You guys are listening to me right now, right this very moment. You're listening to me because, probably because we're friends on Facebook. Those shameless plugs, shameless posts that I did on a daily basis, got you here. Maybe you're someone na friend ko and sinabihan ko, uy, support mo yung podcast ko. Marami akong minessage na ganyan, uy, lalabas sa Monday yung podcast ko pakinggan mo. Marami akong sinabihan na ganyan. Maybe that's the reason why you're here. Either way, thank you so much. Kahit pinilit pa kitang pumunta dito, the fact that you're here, thank you so much for your support. Maraming salamat for being here. Maybe you're just really a good friend na gusto talaga akong suportahan. Just, I know who you guys are. I just want you guys to know that. I am beyond thankful for the support and the love that you guys are giving me. And yung quick attention that you guys are giving me whenever I do my post, when you guys like and share the post that I do. Oh my God, that is something that I really, really, truly appreciate. Or maybe you're someone not from my circle. We're not friends on Facebook. Maybe nakita mo lang sa shinare ko in one of those podcast groups, in one of those groups na pwedeng mag-share ng mga motivation, keme, ganyan. Maybe you're that. Nevertheless, thank you for being here. But see, all of us in here, those who are listening to me right now, we all have roles to play. We all have our own sets of expectation that is, that's normal when you're getting in a new relationship, diba? Ganun naman yun eh. Yun naman talaga yun eh. Meron talaga tayong sets of expectations. Pag pumasok ka sa isang relasyon, mag-e-expect ka talaga. And I kind of want to look at what we have right now that way. Well, like what I mentioned earlier, I want us to be in a relationship every week. Parang medyo, asking too much ba? Parang na lang, date muna tayo every week, diba? Where we're gonna be dating. And if you talk about dating, there are 5 stages of dating, diba? You're dating for that. You start with attraction, and then comes the reality, and then you commit to that reality, and then come the intimacy, which is my favorite part, and then finally, of course, the engagement. So you're here because you found something that attracted you. Maybe you're attracted to me. Char! Then you decide if you want to stay. That's the reality, right? When you've consumed the contents, when you've consumed the things that I say, that's the whole reality of it. And then you get to decide, okay, this is something that I want to do, so let's continue to that. Let's do it. Let's go in that journey together. Kasi baka naman ma-realize mo, yung mga nare-realize ng iba dyan, masyadong complicated si Wasabi, hindi nyo kaya. Sorry. Maybe it's not for you. That can happen too, right? That is a reality that we have to acknowledge. But if you feel like, I think I can handle Wasabi. GG easy lang yan. Then we go to commitment. You commit to go into this journey with me week over week. Wow. Diba? And, when we go into this journey of building this relationship together, we sworn to love and hate each other for better or for worse. Sorry, masyado advanced. But yeah, Once you're fully committed, we can move on to intimacy. We go more intimate with each other, talk about topics that has a potential to give you goosebumps in a good way. I promise. Talk about things that sometimes might not be comfortable for you, but we're still gonna talk about them nevertheless. And then finally, we move to engagement. We're happy with the kind of shits that we have discovered and we have made, and we are ready to move forward to the next chapter of this relationship. Thank you everyone for listening. Mababaw lang naman ang hiling ko for this episode, yun na yung hindi kayo na-bore. I hope that I was somehow able to make you feel something or anything at all. Your feelings matters, your emotions matters. And if you have stories or love advice, or you just want to share something, feel free to DM me on my Facebook account, Queen Wasabi, or you can email me over at relationshipsph@gmail.com. In a Relationship with Queen Wasabi is a member of RR Podcast Network. Rumble Royale is such a wonderful place to check out new shows and new podcasts. Sobrang dami ng variety na shows there, and for sure meron talaga kayong magugustuhan there. So, see you guys next week. We're gonna be talking about a whole different topic for next week. So I'll see you guys until next week. Thank you. This is again Queen Wasabi. This is In a Relationship with Queen Wasabi.